Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Life with Perry Martins. My name is Perry Martins. Today I'm talking about racism. The cure to racism for Africans. The cure to racism for Africa, black Africans specifically. So I spent this evening watching YouTube videos on the channels of Stephen Nduku. Stephen Nduku was talking about his experience going to Mauritius and how he was searched, thoroughly, and how many other black Africans were searched thoroughly at the airport just because they want to go get access into Mauritius, right? Now, I also watched Wademaya's video about his experience in Brazil and how he was talking to the indigenous Brazilians, the Creole people, and the Afro-Brazilians, and how they also talked a lot about how they are being discriminated and the racial profiling that they experienced, and I was really moved to make this podcast. I'm seeing something that is interesting me, so I was really moved to make this podcast, and I'm gonna make this podcast. Now I'm thinking back to the days of slavery, because all this, the whole denigration and looking down on the nation, on the Africans, all stems from the slavery days, the days where Africans were sold to different parts of the world, the Americas, in Europe, different places. Africans were kidnapped from their nation and sold into slavery, right? So this whole race, because what is now happening is a lot of Africans who left home and are now residing in different parts of the world due to several reasons: racism, voluntary migration, are now there, and a particular class of people who probably might be Caucasians, who want the Africans who came as servants and slaves to remain servants and slaves, have now are now making life difficult, or trying to still subdue and keep under bondage, so that the Africans will keep doing their dirty work and dirty business, and while they live the good life. And as far as I'm concerned, the cure to racism is Africans beginning to learn what ownership is, and how to own the systems, own the structures, own the businesses. That is my solution. That is what I think is the cure to racism. Because money rules the world. Let's be frank. Money rules the world. Wealth is the only reason why somebody will be living a better life than the others, and they can control the system to such a level where the other person is now being subjugated. I feel that if Africans, especially in different parts of the world, can begin to learn how to own the system. And I'm going to give a good example to Africans. I love the Chinese and the Indians because of this. There's nowhere in the world the Chinese and the Indians will be disrespected. Nowhere in the world. Even though sometime in the past they were part of the people that were being discriminated, but now that can barely happen, because they own the system. They own the system. They own the Indians, the Pakistanis. They go anywhere in the world. They They coalesce their resources, they build systems, build businesses, they insert their own into government, they support their own, and they own the system. You can't disrespect them. Even the Italians, when they came to America, that was what they did. They inserted themselves in the system, owned the system. Own the system. The truth is, every other ethnic group, every other peoples wants to intimidate the other persons. It's an innate thing in human beings. Human beings, every group of people wants to intimidate the other group. So what is happening to Africans is like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know, the enemy of the enemy. How do they say it? The enemy of my enemy. Yeah, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Yeah, that's what's happening. Because every other group around, if you come to a society and you choose to live off the crumbs, you will be disregarded, you will be overlooked, you will be ignored, you will be stepped upon, you will be denigrated. But if you come in and you look for how to own the system, you will be at the top of the food chain. You will not be below the food chain. So let me take, for example, the Mauritius story. One guy was given a description in the comment section. He said that what he noticed is that in Mauritius, the number one citizens are the white French people, and then the second class citizens are the Indians, and then the third class citizens are the Creole. You know, that is probably the Creole, the local people. So Creole is the mixture of people of African descent, basically, who are probably mixed. So they are probably the Creole are probably the population that were given birth to by the interaction of the white people or the Caucasians and the slaves. You know, because everywhere in the world, that's always how the Creole population always comes up. It's the interaction of the Caucasians and the slaves, the African slaves or whatever the slaves came from, always produces the Creole community. You know, so this guy was giving the description because he was saying he's married to a Mauritian woman whose father is Indian and the mother is Creole. You know, so he was now describing it. So it's obvious what is happening there. The Caucasian whites are the richest, you know, and the privileged because they own the system. They are remnants of they are part of the remnants of colonialism, right? Then you have the Indians. How did the Indians become number two? Because that is what they do. They come into a system. They own this, and everywhere in the world, I love the Indians. Everywhere in the world, in the UK, in South Africa, in Uganda, everywhere in the world you go, you see the Indians. What they do, they come in, they own the system. They start providing services, goods and services. They own this. So that man was saying that in Mauritius, in all levels of government, it is Indians. I love them. I love them for that. And I think that if there is any ethnic group in the world that Africans should learn from, it is the Chinese and the Indians. We need to learn from them. They come in, they own this. I live in the UAE. The Indians own this place. They are everywhere. Every system, every structure, they are there. And if there's something that the Africans need to learn, it is that thing. Come into a system and make yourself indispensable. Come into the system and make yourself indispensable. Come into the system and provide what is needed. Provide what is needed. Make it a business. Own the system. That is my message to Africans. Don't be waiting for someone to give you handouts. And that's another thing I love about Nigerians. All the negativity and the antagonization against Nigerians is because Nigerians are that one set of Africans. You can't run them over. That's one thing I love about Nigerians. And that's why everywhere, every country in the world is looking out for Nigerians to make sure that they are not being outsmarted by Nigerians. And I believe that this is also what nations like the Indians went through in the days when they were rising. Every great nation, unfortunately, has its bad elements. Every society is made up of the good, the bad, and the ugly. Every nation, even the ones that are now gatekeeping us from coming to their nation, they were criminals before. Let's tell ourselves the truth here. Every nation in the world that is trying to gatekeep and limit, hinder, or overly scrutinize Africans, if we dig into their story, they committed worse crimes. And that is the reason why nobody anywhere in the world can intimidate me. The highest thing you can tell me to do is to leave your country. But you can't intimidate me because I know your history. I can tell you, I can't go to France and then a French person will start making me feel inferior. They don't born you well. I know what your forefathers did. Even till now, in Africa, they are still committing crimes. Because it's all about the money. It's all about the money. So my message to Africans is to understand that this thing is about the money. It's about the money. It's about the resources. It's about the money. There's nothing else. So it also goes back to the unification message. Africans have to unite. Black Africans. Mauritius, in my opinion, Mauritius is not really an African nation. Mauritius is still in the hands of, it's still a colonial settlement. There are some places I will never want to go. One of them is Mauritius. What am I going to go and do? What do they have? No. I only go to a place where I'm celebrated, where I'm valued, where I will spend. I can't go to a place and I'll spend my money. But so Africans, you gotta be wealthy. Africa, you have to be rich. African man, African woman, go to the place where you will be wealthy and rich. Go to the place where why do you want to go to Mauritius? Or anywhere that you will be disrespected? The only reason I'll go to Mauritius is to go and inspire the African population and tell them, guys, wake up, own the system, own it, provide goods. If it's the lawn that you'll be mowing lawn for those white people, create a mega business, do it so well and collect their money. That's how to be rich. Collect their money. Collect their money. Because for you to know how wealth works, you have to insert yourself. You have to have access to the court of the king. For you to know how the king rules, you have to have access. And you can have access as a gate man. You can have access as a security guard. You can have access as a servant. When you get there, don't be weighed down by don't be mentally enslaved. Know that your plan is to stay here for a short period of time, learn all you can learn and move. What is stopping you guys in Mauritius from creating a shell company and buy all those price properties? That's how to take over. The man talking about Mauritius was talking about how certain places, in certain places in Mauritius, it's only reserved for white people. Not when I have my money. I can go to Switzerland or go somewhere, create a shell company. If you need to, there are a lot of hungry white people who you can use as front. Come on, there are so many ways to do this thing. There are a lot of hungry white people who you can use as front and buy up the whole thing. Buy up the whole real estate. think the problem of Africa is mental slavery. Mental slavery and poverty is the person that said that poverty is a mindset is not wrong at all. They are very correct. Poverty is a mindset. It's everywhere around the world. It's all about the money. And I think Africans, we cry about racism a lot. We just make a lot of noise. My approach to life is, I can't be where I'm not celebrated. It's not possible. I can't be there. I will go somewhere else. After all of us are moving. Nobody in the world can come and say, oh, has been our ancestral, location for 2,000 years. Everybody moved around. Everybody, the only thing that can happen is that maybe your ancestors have been here for maybe 200 years, 300 years, maybe 500 years. But by the time we trace it back to up to 1,000 years, you don't have any roots in that place. Because the kind of life our ancestors lived was very mobile. They are always moving from one location to the other. So the place you're claiming as your ancestral home is just a place that your people came and settled. It's just a place your people came and settled. So what am I saying? Africans in different places around the world should begin to own the system. That's what I love about Nigerians. Own the system. Organize and own the system. That's what I love about Nigerians. Own the system. Own the ownership. Own the system. Buy property. Buy land. Create business. Strategize yourself. Strategize. And everywhere, and as an African, everywhere you go, look for other Africans and band to. If you really want to stay there, if you really want to stay there, look for other. It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight, but you will win. Band together and build a community. Build a community. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I wanted to say this evening. I still have a lot that I want to say, but just hold on to this. That is what I believe in. That is what I stand for. We should learn how to own the system or create an alternate system. Own the system. Thank you for listening to me. My name is Perry Martins. Have a great day.